Hello, and welcome to this horror and suspenseful movie story by the name Abigail. This story is about a young ballet dancer named Abigail leading a seemingly ordinary life, her days filled with rehearsals and dreams of becoming a professional ballet dancer. Abigail is also Lazar's unloved daughter, living in isolation in a huge mansion. Christophe Lazar reigns as a powerful crime lord, feared by all who cross his path. Everything changes on a dark and stormy night when Abigail is abducted from her mansion by a group of 6 criminals hired by Lazar's rivals. The group, led by the cunning and ruthless Lambert, takes her to Wilhelm Manor, a secluded estate on the outskirts of the city. Lambert's plan is simple: hold Abigail hostage for 24 hours until her father pays a $50 million ransom, after which they will each receive a huge sum of money. Among these 6 kidnappers are Joey, a former army medic struggling with addiction; Frank, a disgraced ex-NYPD detective seeking redemption; Sammy, a thrill-seeking hacker with a knack for getting into trouble; Rickles, a calm and bit emotionless former Marine sniper; Peter, a mob enforcer, jacked with muscles but dim-witted; and Dean, a cold and calculating driver who is a bit loose in the head and a sociopath. Upon arriving at Wilhelm Manor, tension floods in the hall as Lambert briefs the group on their task and leaves the mansion. Joey is assigned to watch over Abigail. She was conflicted when she learnt that Abigail was a young girl, but continued with her kidnapping. Joey finds herself drawn to Abigail's innocence and vulnerability. Once the sedation wears off Abigail, Joey strikes a conversation with Abigail, trying to calm her. Sympathetic to her, she shares that she has a son and promises to protect Abigail from harm. Abigail admits her father does not care about her and will not pay the ransom. Before Joey leaves the room, Abigail says something that terrifies Joey.
I'm sorry about what's gonna happen to you.
Joey runs down and talks to Frank about Abigail's warning. Frank, suspicious of Abigail's true identity, confronts her with harsh interrogation tactics. Abigail begins crying as Frank pulls out his gun and threatens her, asking about her father. She gives in and tells him that her father is Lazar, the crime lord surrounded by many instances of random deaths of people who crossed him. This scares Frank and he tries to leave, but others convince him otherwise. After unsuccessfully flirting with Sammy, Dean enters the basement where he's attacked by an unseen assailant. Investigating his screams, Sammy finds Dean's decapitated corpse. The group realizes that Lazar's legendarily violent enforcer Valdez must be inside the house and tries to leave, but the home security system seals the property, preventing escape. While looking for a way out, Rickles is mutilated and killed. The group confronts Abigail for information, but she transforms into a vampire,
Fuck she get out of those cuffs?
revealing she is Valdez. Frank shoots Abigail, but her injuries instantly heal and the group flees. Terrified and still in shock, they come to the realization that they have been brought there to die. Frank, Sammy and Peter plan to return and attack Abigail with tropes of vampiric lore, such as garlic and crucifixes. Joey warns them that it will be a bad idea and that Abigail would be expecting this, and she refuses to join them. This proves to be true, as their attacks become ineffective in front of Abigail's strength and speed, allowing her to easily overwhelm and prevent them from stabbing her through the heart with wooden stakes. Meanwhile, Joey realizes that she in fact was successful back during the kidnapping to sedate her. And when the other 3 return, gravely injured by Abigail, Joey tells them about her idea, to which they agree to test out. The search begins for finding Abigail. While following up on some noises, Sammy stumble upon and fall into a pile of muck. Later realizing it to be a heap of dead bodies, or rather the remains of everyone Abigail had fed over so far. Screaming and shouting, Sammy begins running away. While trying to reach to where Sammy was, Peter encounters Abigail and starts running and shouting, calling for Joey. A brawl begins as Peter and Frank tries holding up Abigail, but she easily throws them around and knocks the tranquilizer out of Joey's hand. Sammy joins in the struggle, but ends up getting bitten by Abigail. Finally, Joey is successfully in incapacitating Abigail with the tranquilizer, and the team imprison her. Upon awakening, the centuries-old Abigail reveals that she knows the group's true identities and arranged for them to abduct her through Lambert, so she can kill them for wronging her father. Joey deduces that Abigail has killed dozens of her father's enemies in a failed effort to earn her father's love. She also tells the group that Frank, in fact, was working with her father, which causes the group to have doubts on Frank's motives. Joey, along with Sammy and Peter, leaves in order to give them medical attention, leaving Frank to look over Abigail in the cage. Abigail tries manipulating and striking a deal with Frank to let her out, but then when he denies, she effortlessly escapes her confines and attacks Frank. On hearing the ruckus, Joey rushes in and rips wooden planks off a window to expose Abigail to sunlight, which severely wounds her. With only hours before sunset, the group splits up to find an escape route, but Sammy is transformed into a vampire and is under Abigail's control and kills Peter. Abigail has Sammy attack Frank and Joey, forcing Joey to destroy Sammy with reflected sunlight, leaving Frank and Joey standing in a pool of blood and guts. Frank and Joey, while rushing to find a way out, stumble upon a hidden room where they find Lambert before they can attack him and escape out. Lambert bares his fangs and reveals Abigail turned him into a vampire years earlier for helping Frank avoid Lazar's wrath. Frank allows Lambert to turn him into a vampire so they can work together to kill Abigail and Lazar. But following his transformation, Frank kills Lambert for leading him into Abigail's trap. Abigail attacks Frank, but he overpowers her and drains her blood, leaving her weakened. Cornered, Joey leaves a phone message for her son, apologizing for having been absent from his life for many years. With the newfound power messing with his head, Frank chases after Joey and starts toying with her and beating her. Finally, he bites Joey, intending to turn her into his minion, just like Abigail did with Sammy, and force her to kill Abigail and eventually her own son. However, Joey's transformation fails due to Frank's inexperience with his new abilities. Abigail starts taking the charge of attack and reminds Joey of her promise to keep her safe and asks her help to kill Frank in return for letting her leave. She and Abigail team up to kill Frank. Abigail finally, along with Joey, stabs Frank with a wooden stake, killing him instantly.
Oh, fuck.
With Joey's infection broken, Abigail encourages her to leave and be present in her son's life, but Lazar arrives and threatens Joey. Abigail defends Joey for being present when she needed her while Lazar was not. Although Lazar angrily disapproved this request of her, but he finally gives in for Abigail's sake and allows the bloodied and battered Joey to leave. With the shadows of the past finally laid to rest, Abigail and Joey part ways. With this, our story for the movie Abigail comes to an end. I hope you enjoyed the video. Do leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more such content.